Hi!
Hi guys!
We're coming back today with a guided meditation. We talked a little bit about meditation last time, and so we thought it would be a good idea to do a guided meditation today so that you can see how easy it is, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, Jens, is there any special environments that we need to be in? Do you have to have a special room or?
Yeah, there is common misconception about that sometimes. That people think that they have to be on a big pillow or something, or they have to, you mentioned last time, get in the lotus position, which isn't the case. The environment that you're in really, especially when you're beginning out in meditation, is that it's a quiet, distraction-free area. A lot of people will have a special place in their house, so maybe it's the favorite corner of the couch. For me, I like to lay down when I meditate, so I'll just lay in my bed, right? But then there's also the times when you're not home, right? What do? Some people, they do it just in their hotel room if they're staying in a hotel room. If they're at a conference, sometimes they just go find a corridor or a hallway off to the side where they can sit for just a little bit. Because meditation, again, doesn't have to be an hour-long meditation. It doesn't have to be that you're sitting on the mountaintop waiting for the cherry blossoms to bloom, which is nice. I don't have anything against that, but it can be just, like I said before, it can be as small as 12 seconds, or it can be as big as you want it to be. Just a quiet space where you're distraction-free is really the big thing.
Right. And the benefit of doing that, taking your 2 or 3 minutes or however long you can, tell me again the benefit of doing that.
It's a brain reset, right? It's an emotion reset. Times we are what some psychologists call being in tilt. What some neuroscientists call your beta waves, right, are going rampant. Beta waves and being in tilt means that you're always pushing forward. You're always kind of living a little bit in the future. You're always thinking about, all right, well, it's 12 o'clock now at work. I have to go to lunch. Then I have to come back and I have to get this done before the meeting. And then once that meeting goes, I don't know how it's going to go. My boss has been in a weird kind of mood. And then, if my boss is in a weird kind of mood, I know I'm not going to get the best answer out of that. And then I'm going to be grumpy. And then when I get home, I know my husband didn't clean up after the kids. He's been home all day and so I'm going to have to clean up kids, and I'm going to have to do dinner, and I'm going to be mad at him all night, and then I'm going to need to take a shower, but then I'm just going to be too late for me to take a shower, and I just want to watch my shows, and tomorrow I'm going to be grumpy, right? And it just goes on and on and on. So we live in that kind of if-then scenarios that we create, and we have no idea actually how that day is going to go. Your boss might have been grumpy, but maybe he just needed his coffee, right? Maybe he was waiting on the text from his parents that his dad got out of surgery, and his dad did get out of surgery, and now he's happy and everything went. And so your meeting actually went really, really well. So you had all of this stress for a scenario that you created that you didn't even know was going to happen. Now that's kind of extreme, but in all different kinds of scenarios, we do that. We try and problem solve and figure out and fortune tell the future. What this does is this brings us back to right now, where we are okay, where there is no lion, right? There is no thing jumping out at us, that we can be okay. We can remember that, and then we can remember that we can choose how we want to feel right now, and then going forward in the future.
So then we go into a different state of mind.
Exactly.
In a different wavelength, right? Because you mentioned beta wavelengths and so forth. So that's our chance to kind of back off and get a little bit more calm again.
Right.
You mentioned sitting on a couch or whatever, and you did remind me of the story. I was doing a Bible study, and the woman who was leading the Bible study said that she would wake up at 3 o'clock every morning. And finally it dawned on her as that was God's way of waking her up so that he could be alone with her without kids, without husband, and so forth. So what she did is she made a little cozy nook in her couch. And so she had her favorite blanket with her. She had a candle that she would light, and she had her favorite cup of tea. And so she made this a very special time just so that she could be with God all by herself. So when you make a place, perhaps in your own home, you can make that cozy nook that you enjoy going to, because that's going to help you want to go and take that break and change your mind away.
Absolutely. There is another thing that people start attaching things to meditation, right? They think of, you go into any shop and you start seeing all different kinds of incense, and you think, oh, well, the people who burns incense, that's kind of woo-woo and out there, right? And well, these incense, they have different capabilities. This one inspires love, and this one inspires power, and this one inspires whatever, right? You can get into all that, and like I said, I have nothing against that. But what it comes down fundamentally is incense smells good, right?
Right.
So burn it if you think it smells good. If it doesn't smell good to you, don't burn it, right? If you have a candle that you like to light, because you like the ambiance of a candle, right? We all think of like a bubble bath and having your wine and having candles lit, because it just sets a nice ambiance. So light a candle for that, that makes your space feel warm and comforting in your spot. If you have your favorite blanket that's super soft, grab your favorite blanket and throw it around your shoulders, put it on your lap, right? The big thing is for you to feel comfortable, right? Feel comfortable in your space, comfortable smells, comfortable sounds. Some people like to listen to calming music. Some people like to listen to Om chanting, right? I know in my meditation sometimes that really does help, just that repetitive Om chanting, just because it's kind of like white noise. You don't have to do that. You don't have to listen to anything at all. But it's all about making your space comfortable. That's what it is at its most basic fundamental thing. All the other stuff is an add-on, it's bonus points, but you don't have to look into it any further.
So it's unique to you. It's not right or wrong.
Right.
It's whatever you feel comfortable with. So are there any positions that are better than the other? I know we talked about cross-legged and fingers. Are there any positions that are better, or is again just up to you?
Yeah, so there is a better position, and that's being comfortable.
Okay. Right.
That's
being
it.
Comfortable.
If you're sitting, try and keep a good posture, because if you're sitting for too long and you're bent forward, this does start to hurt. As a chiropractor, you know that, right? When your head pulls forward, you get stress all on your back, right? And that will begin to hurt. Another thing to solve that is you don't even have to sit down. You can just lay down.
Right.
Just
relax.
And just relax. There is a caveat with laying down. What happens is, naturally when we lay down, is we've been training ourselves since we were little to fall asleep when we lay down and close our eyes and relax. So that can happen, and that's okay. I tell people I work with all the time, if you fall asleep, great, you needed to sleep.
Right. Your body knows what it needs.
But eventually, with time, you start realizing that, okay, I'm in my meditation state. And we can get all into the neuroscience with from the beta waves to the alpha drop and then into delta waves. And that might be a whole different video.
Is there different kinds of meditation, or is it we all follow the same path in meditation?
There are just about as many different people. I think we have about 8 billion people now in the world. There's about 8 billion different ways to meditate. Right? There are some basics, right? There are some people, I tell them, well, you can meditate any way you want to, and that's like, I have too many choices.
Yeah.
So there are some basic things that we can do that are frameworks. You can tweak them however you want. Just like a recipe, right? You can go online and find your recipe for your favorite chocolate cake and make it to the T from the recipe. Or you can start tweaking it a little bit and playing with it to make it your own. And instead of just the chocolate powder, you put some chocolate chips and syrup in it, right? You make it your own with a framework of that recipe. And that's what we like to give you as a way to meditate, right? Is is there's different frameworks, different recipes you can try, but then make it your own from there.
So today you're going to lead us in a meditation. Is there a name for this, or is it just meditation?
I don't really have a name for it. I've been trying to think of one. What I call it is the appreciation meditation, without being too rhymey. All this does, in our last video, but to recap for you guys, there is two basic states that we're in, right? We're either connected, where we feel good and ideas are coming to us and you and I are engaged in conversation. I'm totally present and I'm totally loving this conversation. Or the disconnected state, where we're disconnected, right? We're not engaged. That's where depression and fear and all that stuff lie too, right? It's kind of that, the dark side and the light side, right? It's the Jedi and the Sith. It's the dichotomy that we're all really familiar with, but that's in our most basic form, the two states. What we're trying to do here is just get focused into that connected state, that beautiful state, where we can then feel good for no good reason.
Right. Well, in this time that we're going through, in the future, people may or may not remember this time, COVID-19, but I know personally that when you start appreciating things and not worrying about things or regretting things or reacting to things, when you can appreciate things, totally calms me down. Mm-hmm. So I'm really looking forward to this. What do we need to do? I see a lighter and some candles.
So go ahead. We've got some candles here. We got a lighter. If you feel so inclined, you can go ahead and light your candle. And
all right. I'm gonna light my candle. All right.
The small accomplishments.
Yeah. I was afraid that there was not gonna be any oil in this. All right. We're good.
Okay. This was a smell good candle?
I hope so.
Okay. It'll be weird to have a smell bad candle.
Yeah.
All right. Next thing is make sure you're comfortable, right? Now, typically, you can do this. You can use this video as a guide, and what I'll do too is we'll cut this part out so you can come back to it over and over again and just have the guided part.
Perfect.
Or as you start moving forward in your meditation journey, you can just do it quietly by yourself. But in this instance, we're going to be doing it guided. So what I'll do is I'll do a little bit kind of with you, but I'm really going to be more focused on guiding you through the meditation, okay?
Okay.
All right, so get comfortable.
Get comfortable. Okay.
And it doesn't matter if your eyes are open or closed. A lot of times for people, it's better if their eyes are closed at first, because again, distraction, right? It's squirrel, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So however you're most comfortable, all we're going to do is we're going to start with focusing on your breath. All right. So get comfortable. Keep your back straight as possible, just because we don't want to put too much pressure on the spine. Lean back in your chair if you need to. And then we're going to start focusing on our breath. I like to in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just that simple change, in through the nose and out through the mouth, is we're now having to think about our breath. Typically when we breathe, that typically is just our autonomic nervous system controlling us to keep us alive. So when we go in through the nose and out through the mouth, we're having to control that. What that does is brings us present to a task that's tactile and right now. Slowing the breath also is a thing that automatically gets you in a more calm state. The slower you're breathing, the more calm you're going to be. That's the body follows the mind follows the body. longer you do this, you might start to feel a little itch on your leg, or you might start to feel a hair in your nose or your eye. Do your best to try and ignore it. If you absolutely have to, you can move it. But the more still you can be, the better off you are. If you feel your mind start to wander, it's okay. Just think of it as a repetition and working out, and bringing your focus back to your breath. Now I want you to think of something that you love, something that brings you lots of joy and happiness. Think of it as it could be a person, it could be a place, an object, something from your past, something that exists in real life, something that you made up in your mind, something that could be totally elsewhere in the universe. Just think of it and bring that to the forefront of your mind. Now, as you bring that thing to your mind, I want you to really look at it in your mind's eye and find all the things that you really love about it. If it's, say, a stuffed animal, notice how soft, plush, and comforting it is. If it's a place, how that energy there makes you feel. For me, my place is always at the ocean, so the crashing of the waves, the coarseness of the sand underneath my skin, the cool, misty breeze on my face. Name all the different things that you love about it. Just list them in your brain. Feel that energy inside of you, that appreciation inside of you going out towards it, almost as if a physical offering. And as you do, see that thing, that object or place or person or idea, get filled up with it and start returning that energy towards you. Now imagine it getting so big and swollen and full of appreciation, right? Just as if you were looking at a little puppy and you kept telling how good of a dog it is and how much more excited that puppy would get, how much more love and how its tail would wag. That same type of energy exchange happens with you and this object. Feel that exchange come back and forth, and as you are appreciating it, it is appreciating you. And now you feel the energy swell up inside of you, and now you have even more capacity to appreciate that thing, or that person, that idea. And keep letting that appreciation swell and build and exchange back and forth, and this synergy of growth happens. You can almost see an energy field around this object or idea. This just, you can almost tactile crackling of appreciation. For me, I feel that appreciation. It starts deep down in my belly and it moves up into my heart and through my throat and into my brain. And then through my brain and all around me, I can feel the air and I can feel that just that feeling of okayedness, peace. Now at this point, you can do a lot of things. One, you can just feel the feeling of appreciation and have it feel good. I've mentioned this earlier, you can feel good for no good reason at all. You can also, now that your mind is calm and collected and you're in control of your thoughts, now start to shift your mind's eyes focused onto things that you want, or questions you want answered, directions you want to take. And you'll find that when you're in this state, those answers come easier to you. Whatever your journey may be, what we're going to do now is to bring our focus back on our breathing. Two more big breaths. And start to notice the things around you again. That you're back in your safe place, in the place that you like, your most comfortable chair, your most favorite spot in the room. And open your eyes with a new appreciation for everything. How do you feel?
Nice.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's interesting, when I have my eyes closed, it's almost like a light got brighter and brighter and brighter. It was interesting, and I thought, what's happening outside? But it was really cool.
Yeah. This is a super powerful technique. I get so excited about it. I'm at a loss for words. This is something that you can do like we did here with a meditation, where we took just, 4 minutes, right? It was 4 or 5 minutes of this meditation. Mm-hmm. And now we feel calm and centered and relaxed. And now the next thing we go on to do, we're going to do so much better with a clear head, right? This also helps though, say you're at a grocery store. I have friends, especially with everything going on now, they get really anxious when they go into grocery stores. Just because of the way people are interacting with each other, and people are bumping into you, and then the clerk's mean because everybody's been mean to the clerk, and so they get that anxiety, and they, right? And then people are texting and calling them, and it can be a whole mess. What's really easy to do is take this technique real quick. It doesn't have to be as long or as involved as what we just did. All it is find something in the store that you're just like, wow, that cereal box in the Captain Crunch that's really red. That's a really pretty red. Well, I wonder, that cardboard, they go to work every day and make this cardboard, and somebody's spent time. That cereal box means somebody's hard work so that they can feed their families. I really appreciate that. I might not buy that cereal, but I really, really appreciate all the effort and all the thousands and unknown people that I will never see in my lifetime that went into putting that one box of cereal on the shelf for me and my community. Mm-hmm. Wow, thank you. Mm-hmm. And just that change in mindset, mm-hmm. from that anxious, withdrawn, disconnected state to that thank you,
right, is
everything.
Right.
There's a video I encourage you guys to go check out after you check out this one. I'll put a link in the YouTube video, and I'll put a link on our Facebook when we post this. It's called This Is Water, and it's all about that. It's all about just that small change in perspective means everything.
All right. I'll look forward to seeing that. I haven't seen that yet.
It's great. Do you have any questions?
No, I'm just very usah right now. Just mellow.
Okay. I do have other forms of meditation that we can work through, and maybe in the coming weeks we can do a couple different forms. So if this one didn't quite do it for you guys, there are some other ones I can teach you.
All right. I look forward to it.
Awesome. It was great talking to you guys, and it was great talking to you. That was really, I feel great.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
All right.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you. Bye-bye.